Coming up, a special edition of The Whitney Reynolds Show, taping with a live audience and all warriors for change. The Whitney Reynolds Show was made possible by Theraderm. We believe that every person should have the opportunity to look as refreshed, young, and healthy as absolutely possible. Children's Learning Place, excellence in early childhood education since 1998. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK, believing is seeing. Sciton, because results matter. Fresh Dental, keeping smiles fresh. And Kevin Kelly with Jameson Sotheby's International Realty. Luxury is an experience, not a price point. And by other sponsors. Hollis Plyman and Company, CPA firm. The Cryo Bar. Cellular Intelligence. Tutu School of Chicagoland. Deluxe Cleaning Services. Chicago Andrea Creative. Goldfish Swim Schools of Chicagoland. Barkbusters Home Dog Training. Instagram My Selfie. And Export Fitness.
Well, hello there, warriors! Today is extremely special for several reasons, but the main one being everyone here today is a warrior for change. I want to welcome you out to the first annual Whitney Reynolds Warriors! Woo! Well, as you can see, this is a special edition of the Whitney Reynolds Show. We have a live band. What? Yeah? And we have a live artist over there. Yeah, they're making it all happen. Each audience member was nominated anonymously to sit here today because someone noticed their courage and warrior way. And today's guests are truly outstanding humans that prove positive change can happen when you put your mind to it and fight for what's right. You're watching The Whitney Reynolds Show. There might not be a cure for cancer, but we found a man who is curating a culture of hope, supporting people battling for their lives. Johnny Emmerman, who is a two-time cancer survivor, took one of his most challenging times and formed an alliance of angels to help people in need. Let's welcome out Johnny and Damien. Welcome to the show.
Whitney, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Johnny, you formed Emmerman Angels, and Damien, you're in the midst of kind of receiving
Correct.
what he formed.
Yes.
So first of all, tell us about it.
Well, it's a team, first of all. You know, I feel like a team formed this, and a team operates this, and a team makes a difference. That's how movements really work. And so I'm a very lucky guy. I'm from Detroit area originally. I was 26, a couple years out of college, and diagnosed with testicular cancer. Had no idea what it was in 2001, was totally undereducated, didn't know how to check, didn't know anything, and immediately found myself in surgery and in chemo about 2 years in my 20s, from 26 to 28. And you know, you have a lot of time in the cancer center to think as you're going through the battle. You have your IV pole every day, and you're walking down the corridor, and you're looking in other rooms, 8 hours of chemo a day on average, and you have a lot of time to think as you look in these other rooms, who's all here? And the reality is, the harsh reality is so many people fight cancer alone. No family, no friends, maybe everyone's working and they're scared and they're nervous. We're all scared. I was terrified. So when we finished treatment, got together with a group of survivors, and we knew we wanted to give back. We knew we wanted to share our stories. We knew we just didn't want to walk out, that we were lucky to beat it and pretend that these other people weren't there any longer, because they were. Hundreds of people in the center. So we created a group that's called today Emmerman Angels. It's a one-to-one peer mentoring program. So nobody fights cancer alone ever. So if someone's diagnosed with testicular cancer in Oklahoma and who's 27, we know a guy named Mike who lives in New York that beat testicular cancer, and he's maybe 3 years older, and says, I'll talk to you. Somebody has colon cancer in Maine, maybe we know somebody in London or Paris, we're international, who beat the same thing. So one-to-one, we make sure that everyone facing the cancer battle is able to connect with someone who sat literally in that same seat, who's the same age, same gender, same cancer, same stage level, who's been there to be able to motivate, inspire, and give hope.
Oh, and that is why you're a warrior here today. And Damien, you're a warrior here, still like in the throes of it. Tell us about your journey.
So, Johnny and I got connected through a mutual friend. This was probably, I want to say, a couple weeks after I got diagnosed, 3 to 4 weeks. And
for people watching at home, what were you diagnosed with?
Same thing, testicular cancer. So the unknown, that's probably that's the worst part, just because when you get, it's the C word, what happens, right? Mm-hmm. And a friend was really pushing to meet Johnny, you know, and so we did. We connected. He came by. We spoke for about 2 hours, and it was full disclosure. It was amazing. We talked about what I can expect, the doctors that I should see, what oncologists to go to, like how I'm going to feel, you know, kind of everything just in general, and just like life, you know, what are the changes? It just kind of brings perspective, and it definitely, you know, you go from kind of depression, you know, what happens, to kind of being like, this guy is here. It's like unbelievable. We just met.
And he made it through it.
Yeah,
yes.
He made through it, and it's like very inspirational. And my mindset from that day totally shifted, and for the better. And it's something that I'm gonna be, you know, I'm gonna stand by him, you know, for the rest of my life.
Let's hear it for Damien.
He's good man.
It's not easy coming on a show, and it's not easy, especially in front of a live audience. And what you guys are doing is like, that's kind of the whole mission behind it, is to be open and honest with your story. What is some of the like hope that you've seen come out of your program?
Yeah, you gotta give people hope. You gotta show someone like Damien when he's just starting, just like I was. I was scared, I didn't know what was coming. There was no roadmap. You're wondering, where am I going? What's the first day of treatment like? What do I tell my boss? What food do I eat? Do I go to the gym? Do I not? If I can't go to the gym, when am I gonna feel better to go to the gym? And there's just so many questions that are knowledge-based questions that I think now we know as survivors, and we can share that with the next person who's deer in headlights. Right. You know, step one, mile one of the marathon, and guys that have crossed the finish line, we gotta come back to mile one and say, here's every mile marker on this journey. Here's the ups, here's the downs, here's what to do in this situation, here's what to do in that situation. And not that we're telling them what to do, we're sharing our friendship.
Yeah, you're walking alongside.
We're walking alongside them.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, and I do think, you know, matching, like I can relate to Johnny, and I was probably more open to him than I have been with some of my closest friends, and it's just like, that just happened.
Well, and look at you here today.
Yeah, exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
Well, thank you both so much for coming on. But before you go, Damien, we know that your journey is still unknown, and we want to give you a little clearer vision of what we can do on our end. So our friends from Sharp Vision Modern LASIK have a video for you.
Hi, Damien. This is Dr. Ranju Ganesh from Sharp Vision Modern LASIK. We did hear about your story and hope to give you the gift of sight. So come on in for your consultation, and hope to see you soon.
You are getting LASIK for life!
Nice work.
And we want you to know that we're for you in whatever we can do. So congrats to your new eyes and LASIK.
Great.
And thank you both so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shelterbox was founded in the year 2000 and came of age after the Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004.
We were able to get hold of an Antonov 124, which is the largest aircraft in the world. We sent 10 Arctic lorry loads up, enough aid for 2,000 families. A massive effort. That catapulted us onto the world stage of humanitarian aid.
Since then, over 100,000 shelter boxes have been sent to disaster victims on every continent around the world.
Wow. Yeah. So tell us about Shelterbox.
So Shelterbox is a nonprofit organization that focuses on one of the basic needs that we all have, which is shelter. And so we provide emergency shelter and life-saving supplies that really help communities that have been devastated by catastrophe. And it could be a natural disaster like an earthquake, a tsunami, a flood situation, volcano, or a conflict situation where there's civil war in a country.
Wow, and that's actually why we have the tent behind us. So is this what it looks like? Is this how it pops up?
Yeah, so really the whole premise behind a shelter box is really what are the basic things you need to sustain your life if you lose everything in an instant. And so the center of gravity is actually a family emergency tent or a shelter. And it takes many different shapes and sizes, but behind us is actually a standard relief tent. That is a place that a family will call home in the aftermath of an emergency. So if you remember the earthquake in Haiti in 2010, 1.5 million people lost their homes in an instant. And Shelterbox was one of the largest providers of shelter aid to the country. And that was nearly 10 years ago. And we provide not just the tent and the shelter, but inside every shelter box are basic tools to set up household. So often you lose power, so solar lanterns. You have contamination of the water source, so a water purification unit. Storage containers for water, mosquito nets, blankets, ground mats, cooking equipment. So there's a whole stainless steel cook set. So aid organizations bring in food. What are you going to prepare a hot meal, boil water in? A tool set. So you often in disasters see people literally digging out with their bare hands. So a whole tool set. And one box will serve one family. And that could be anywhere from 5, and we've seen up to 10 people that will be living in a tent.
How do you identify who gets these and how do they get there?
Right. So the logistical challenges of aid organizations that do disaster relief are immense. And we are really an organization that focuses on the pre-positioning of aid. We store and pre-position humanitarian aid all over the world. And really what we look at in disasters are everything from how many families have been affected. So we look at, has there been a minimum number of, say, 200 families that will be displaced for 30 days? We also look at where is that country on the Human Development Index? Do they have the ability to self-recover? Is our aid most appropriate? We look at where else in the world are we responding? Do we have the resources, the volunteers, and the humanitarian aid to be able to help in that situation? There is a whole variety of different parameters we look at.
And the funding behind it, how do people, because if they lose everything, they might lose their wallet.
Yes. So obviously the aid is provided free of charge to the people that we serve.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And we have an incredible partner. So we have an incredible partner in Rotary International, and they are our project partner in disasters. And they really are a tie that binds our ability to do the work on the ground. So we're privately funded, so we have a lot of support from individual folks, and then we have some foundation support, corporation support, and then we get a lot of Rotary support too around the world to help this effort.
And this is literally saving lives.
It's life-saving work.
Well, Shelterbox is definitely a warrior for change. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Whitney.
Well, we've heard from 2 amazing warriors, and we have more to come, including a Chicago Bears legend. However, now it's time for a segment we love here on the show, where we hear from you, the audience. And today's question is, how are you being a warrior for change? Let's hear from you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Latham, owner and founder of the Cryo Bar, cryotherapy in the heart of Chicago, family owned and operated. And I really started my business because I truly want to help people and help them realize all the amazing benefits that come from doing cryotherapy. I had a personal experience that gave me my life back, and I want to share that with others.
Hi, I'm Silvana. I'm the founder of the Tool Project. I support women and empower women to stand out and be bold and embrace their femininity by wearing two skirts. And I have a tribe, the Tool Tribe, and we support each other.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm the Director of Dress for Success Worldwide Central here in Chicago. Dress for Success is an international organization that provides professional attire for women who are returning to work. In the Chicagoland area, we provide services for over 2,000 women a year.
My name is David Rothstein. I own a live music company here in Chicago, and we go above and beyond by really getting into the lives of people and create special gifts for them, things that are really designed to help enhance and tell their story about what their love story is and what really makes them special as a couple. We also donate all the flowers after the weddings to nursing homes, homeless shelters, and so we can really extend the love that they have at the wedding to those people who are in the greatest of need.
Hello, my name is Dr. Nam from Fresh Dental. We're a family-based dental office that will be taking care of every patient one-on-one with care and love.
I'm Courtney Collins, and I work for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We're on a mission to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide. Always remember that your mental health is just as important as your physical health.
Hi, I'm Alicia Driscoll. I'm the CEO and founder of Evolver, a creative work and event space for women. I founded this space to bring women together and support them in all aspects of life and to really connect each other and share knowledge across the city.
Hi, my name's Anna Pineda. I'm a general manager at a local goldfish swim school in Chicago. Our main objective is to provide swim lessons to children 4 months to 12 years. We want to make them safe around the water and in the water and provide some education to parents. We have recently partnered up with USA Swimming and especially their Make a Splash initiative, which will provide swim lessons to children who otherwise would not have the means to learn how to swim or be educated in swim safety. So we are super excited. We are making waves and we are Goldfish Swim School.
Get social with us and make your voice heard. Add your video on WhitneyReynolds.com or on social.
Our next warrior literally fought for his life. Greg Matthews had a near-death experience with a bear. After his life-threatening attack, he had a major life switch and joins us now with more. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So you survived a bear attack.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what that was like.
It wasn't exactly just a bear, it was a grizzly.
And the difference is like the grizzlies are just going to go all in.
They're a little larger. Yeah, I call them the apex predator or the land great white. It looked like a Volkswagen bus coming at me.
Oh my goodness.
It was 8.5 feet tall, 600 pounds. And I was bow hunting with my brother. That's how he feeds his family of 5. And yeah, we spent a lot of time prepping for it and everything. And when I turned to my left, yeah, that thing was charging me.
Did you know there was a chance that a bear could come after you when you were bow hunting? Like, did that ever play through your mind? Did you think of a bear attack plan or no?
We did. We actually strung some cans around camp and put BBs in there but I never considered that I would be charged by a grizzly.
And that doesn't happen very often where they just like see someone and charge at them. So what did you do in that moment? Did you wrestle him? Like what happened?
So I shot it in the face at about 15 feet and it didn't do anything. It lunged at me with its mouth open and I was really scared. Nothing brave going on, but literally I extended the rifle and it hit somewhere in the mouth because I didn't have time to rack around back into the rifle. It hit it somewhere in the mouth. The rifle came back, hit me in the head. As soon as it hit me in the head, it lowered its head. It hit me like a linebacker. We slid, and then it spun around with 2 12-inch paws and basically put them right on my shoulders, pinning me to the ground. And then the first bite was to my face.
Oh, my goodness.
So the bear mauled me for over 2 minutes.
Mhm.
It took my head in its mouth 2 different times. I quickly realized that I was not strong enough to manage something like that. So I flipped over on my belly and interlaced my fingers over my neck and spread my legs out. My only goal was not to get flipped on my back. And so at that point, it came over and was not pleased with that. And it picked me up off the ground, picked me up by my lat in its mouth, about 4 feet off the ground. And then that didn't work to get me back over. So it just came down behind my head and did a degloving injury. So it decloved my entire back of my scalp.
You are a miracle.
Well, God showed up
Yeah.
is the case.
Yeah.
That's,
So when this happened,
yes, ma'am.
was it an automatic life shift of like, I'm literally a walking miracle?
Well, yes, because when you face death, I was a firefighter for 21 years, and I worked at the World Trade Center for 3.5 weeks. I was a rescue helicopter pilot. Those were all things that I did, and so every man, I think, takes an inventory if he can, as far as being before he dies. I started to take an inventory, thinking that was what men do, and it came to a point where I realized that I was truly drawing my last breath. And so God stepped in and gave me a vision of my family, and that gave me the strength to guide my brother. I was blinded, but I guided my brother how to stop the bleeding at my neck and my head. I just got him in front of me, and he basically explained what injuries he was seeing, and then I guided him through as an EMT.
Wow. So teamwork of your brother too.
Yes, ma'am.
So when that switch happened, I mean, that's a very dramatic, life-altering experience, which I think would stop anyone to be like, how am I living my life?
Right.
But with yours, now you just changed your whole perspective.
Absolutely. There was a lot of healing. My dad, he left it when I was 8 years old, and it left a huge wound on my life. And so a lot of the things that I'd done in my life, I was chasing, just feeling unworthy. So at that point, when God showed up and showed that I had value and that he was a dad that could be trusted, it completely changed. And so now with me, what I pour myself into, there's nothing wrong with doing the things that I've done, but I totally miss where living from the heart kind of
that's so good.
plays into it.
Living from the heart.
Yeah, so I basically focus on pouring into my wife and investing into my wife, into my kids and my relationships. And I'm finding that that's where joy and purpose and fulfillment really come from.
Well, and finding your self-love is so crucial. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing.
You're very welcome.
And speaking of bears, I couldn't resist. We have a Chicago Bears legend, Matt Forte, and his gorgeous wife, inside and out, joining us. Let's welcome these wedded warriors to the set. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So, Warriors for Change, that's our topic today. And we've been sitting down with so many people that are just changing the landscape, changing the story. And you both are doing that. And I'm just going to start with Matt, because people are like, okay, we know him from football. I mean, you did it for so many years. And sometimes after NFL players get done, they think, what now? But you did not hesitate with the what now. You decided, here's my time to actually put my good where it needs to go.
Yeah, so while playing, I started my foundation, the What's Your Forte Foundation, in 2014, where we provide scholarships and educational opportunities to continue your education and just to make a better life for yourself and try to change your life through education that way. And once I retired, I felt like instead of just doing a local foundation, that I could make a bigger impact by going globally. And so an organization called Biblica, which they do a lot of mission work overseas, and partner with them as well as with my foundation. And now I'm able to make an impact across the globe, as well as in the state in my hometown, as well as in the state that I play football in.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about what you're doing here in Chicago too, but talking about the global scale, y'all actually both went over and did a trip. Tell us about that, Danielle.
We went to 2 different places. We didn't expect to go to either at the beginning of the year. but we went to India, and we also went to South Africa, and both of them were so life-changing. We went from everything in the slums of India to South Africa, just to the schools, and just watching everyone just need the help of just wanting to connect with people and talk and to be heard.
It was amazing. I mean, seeing the little kids in the slums who have nothing, they don't even have toys, and we provided them with these stuffed animals, and they were just hugging them, and they were, hugging on us. They wouldn't let either one of us go. No. And it was just an amazing time to be there and just to, invest in people. A lot of people look at things today and they're like, I have a lot of money, I have cars, I have this and that. But the biggest thing and the most significant thing you can do with your life is to invest in someone else and see that change in their lives.
You're actually helping neighborhoods that are underserved here in Chicagoland reduce violence. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common narrative that in low-income or black neighborhoods that it's heavily policed, but not really in the aspect where the relationship between the community and the police is a good one. So I did a ride-along in the 6th District in Auburn Gresham in Chicago, and Commander Bradley, who is the commander over there, well, not now, but he was, and we did a ride-along, and I was just riding around kind of seeing what they do the day-to-day, and was blown away because I thought, from the outside looking in, that cops would just get in the car, they just drive around, and they look for somebody who's doing something bad. But I mean, they have a lot of gatherings and meetings and stuff and technical stuff that they're looking at. There's actually cameras all around the city that they look in certain neighborhoods, and they can actually respond faster because of that. And a lot goes into what they do in their daily job, but also daily, they're putting their lives on the line because it's a dangerous job. So whole newfound respect for what police officers do, but also I feel like the neighborhood and the community, they should not look at police officers as such a bad thing, like a police officer is a bad person, right. But police officers shouldn't look at every single person as a bad or a criminal. Right. And so if they knew the community and the people in the community knew the police officers who were patrolling, and the guys patrolling knew some of the kids around there, and they would not be at such an odds right now.
Right. They would know that they're not as different as they think. They're all trying to actually help each other.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for coming on today. And keep it up. I have to say, we've been cheering for you in the stands for years, and now we're cheering for you literally out there in the real world. So keep it up, you too.
Yeah,
Thank you both. Well, that's almost it for us here today. However, as I mentioned at the beginning, the audience is unique because each of them were nominated for being a warrior for change. So, we wanted to celebrate you with the first ever Whitney Reynolds Warriors bracelets! Plus, 2 guests in here today will win treats from Pure Barre. And ta-da! Everyone in here today is getting half off a full body chill from the Cryo Bar. A free family swim getaway from Goldfish Swim School of Roscoe Village. A teeth whitening pen and dental gift set from Fresh Dental. A $75 gift card to the one and only Boris Powell, fashion designer. And $100 towards Movement Med. Plus, on Instagram, you can unlock tonight's picture for your chance to win LASIK. For more information on today's show, visit WhitneyReynolds.com.
Go beyond the interview with Whitney Reynolds' 52-Week Guide of Inspiration. The book goes deeper with the topics you see on The Whitney Reynolds Show. To get your copy for $12.95 plus shipping and handling, go to WhitneyReynolds.com/store and use code PBS. The Whitney Reynolds Show was made possible by Theraderm. We believe that every person should have the opportunity to look as refreshed, young, and healthy as absolutely possible. Children's Learning Place, excellence in early childhood education since 1998. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK, believing is seeing. Sciton, because results matter. Fresh Dental, keeping smiles fresh. And Kevin Kelly with Jameson Sotheby's International Realty. Luxury is an experience, not a price point. And by other sponsors. Hollis Plyman and Company, CPA firm. The Cryo Bar. Cellular Intelligence. Tutu School of Chicagoland. Deluxe Cleaning Services. Chicago Andrea Creative. Goldfish Swim Schools of Chicagoland. Barkbusters Home Dog Training. Instagram My Selfie. And Export Fitness.